It's BoiMaam. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. And I have one thing to say. Alle weet nie wat ons weet nie. Big ups to Drickus du Plessis' win over Sean Strickland this morning. It was a tough fight, and he came out of his face looking all moved up. But nonetheless, he's South Africa's first ever UFC champion. Now, fighting aside, let's get back to it with the breaks. Okay, so we enjoyed a lovely 4-2 win against Colville at the end of the last episode. And now we're back after playing 3 more. Of course, our first game up was against AFC Telford, and that ended with a 1-0 result. We then played Mikulova and kept the winning run going with a 3-1, and then Barwell with another 1-0 win. Of course, you must be wondering how this all went down. So we started off against AFC Telford, and this is the goal that turned out to be the winner. A nice ball into Edwards. He had a fierce shot blocked off by Kerr, deflected into the net, and 1-0 it ended. Then we headed back, and Tyrone Barnett had been training really poorly. We decided, let's just have a chat and see how that goes. So I let him know in uncertain terms that I'm very disappointed, and he agreed, yeah, he needs to improve. We left that at that, and then decided we'll go our separate ways for now. We then moved on to Mikulova, and this was the first goal. Bar out with a lovely ball into Landers and a big header into the top corner, and that has become a familiar combination. Then, very soon after, they broke and almost equalized, so we decided to go much shorter with the passing directness and lower the tempo to assume some control. Taylor then found Nickel out to Queno, who lost the ball pathetically on the wing, and a big ball over the top saw Mikulova on the counter. They then knocked the ball across, deflected off, and then the return ball was nodded in by Marcus Barnes to make it 1-1 in the 22nd minute. We then asked them to be a lot more disciplined, and soon after, Daniel Baldwin picked up an injury. So on to the next, and Queno delivered a lovely ball into Bar in the 59th minute. He slotted home very neatly, and that gave us a 2-1 lead. Bar then found Landers, who slotted through for Oliveira. Queno here runs down the wing very nicely, and then finds a brilliant ball on the head of Edwards, who again nodded past the keeper to make it 3-1. And that saw us wrap things up against Piccolo. So heading back to Daniel Baldwin, and of course he sustained a fractured wrist. And then we just asked him, hey dude, you want to play through that? Then on to Barwell, where we dominated the game but couldn't seem to find the net. So of course, we screamed at the boys. And then soon after, we decided, let's change the tempo. So we increased that significantly and decided to see what they could actually do. Soon after, in the 79th minute, it seemed to all work out. Meredith there with the ball, and after some prolonged but well-measured play, the boys seemed to find a way out. Street here with the ball on the halfway line found Edwardson back to Street. He then knocked the ball to Jack Lane, who found the ball out to the left wing to Queno. Queno's quick pass to Bar saw the ball being cut back and then to Nickel, who knocked it across for Landers to first deflect a shot and then slot home to make it 1-0, which turned out to be the winning goal. We then headed back and found Tyrone Barnett training like a plonker again, and of course we had words one more time. This time, he responded like a pancake, and of course, I proceeded to threaten him regarding his playing time. Of course, yet again, he was not happy, and as such, I decided, I'm not so sure you belong in my squad. We looked at his stats very briefly and then decided a mutual termination would be the best option. To which he responded, give me 7k. Yes, sir, we've gotten rid of Tyrone Barnett, the 37-year-old fruitcake that had been training like a clown. Of course, that cost us a whole 7k, which to be fair, I don't think we have. Nonetheless, we've gotten rid of one, and hopefully by freeing up a little bit of his wages, we can get things moving. So back onto the schedule, and as you can see, we have drawn Marchtown United away in the FA Cup first qualifying round. Now for today, we're going to be playing St. Ives away, then coming back to Redditch United at home, and of course, we'll finish up with Marchtown United in that FA Cup game. In the interim, nothing has happened in terms of our transfers, as you can see, but of course, that comes down to our scouting and finding, if you look at this, no one that is worth our time. Of course, Charlie Dowd looked like he might have been a player for us. He has a fair bit of pace and some fairly decent technical stats, but the problem at hand is that if I pop over to the scout report, his estimated wage is going to be way out of our thinking at this point. £450 a week is something that we just cannot afford. To go back into the scouting center and I filter this by ability up top, or rather potential up top, you can see that there's not much on offer. If we change this to loan only, we pop up with a Salim Akanbi at Cambridge United. Now he looks like something of a player, and his versatility, being able to play across the front line, does make some sense. So we're going to have a little pop and see if we can get him on loan. Of course, they're only asking for 20% of his wages, and I think we can do that. So we're just going to suggest these terms and finalize that offer. Hopefully at the start of the next one, or even in this one, we see him in the squad. Now there's not much else in terms of players available for us to actually strengthen the squad. So we're going to take a little bit more time and see how that goes. Of course, I've expanded the scouting range to cover the whole of England, and it is absolutely eating into our scouting budget, but we have to do something to try and find some players to bolster the squad. So if we pop back into the squad, of course, let us quickly just change this view to selection info, and you'll see up here that we've got a fair spread of the goals. So the kid Jack Barr has been contributing fairly well, and Henry Landers is out and out our best player on the pitch at the moment, with Jack Edwards a close second. He's been scoring goals for fun, and I think he might be one of the big reasons why this save goes in the right direction. Now, hopefully, at the end of their contracts, Henry Landers and Jack Edwards, that is, we don't see a problem. So as you can see, at 2024 June, we might have a bit of a problem holding on to them at the end of the season. Okay, so as we may have noted in the recap, Daniel Baldwin, our 18-year-old right back, picked up a nasty little injury to his wrist, and thankfully he will be able to play through that with a cast or brace of some sort. Okay, just one last thing before we head off into actually playing some football. Let's look at the league table, and 6 out of 6 things are looking pretty early. 18 points out of 18. We sit above Royston and Leiston, who lie second and third, with 16 points each. Of course, it's still tight, but it is early days. And let's hope that this can continue in fantastic fashion. Up next against St. Ives. Okay, and here we are with the team selection, and as you can see, we have quite a few problems in terms of fatigue and tired legs. Of course, you'd also notice Oliveira in at left wing. He has played a fair few games for us recently, been up and down, but been a good option to bring off the bench or start to give Jack Barr or Taylor a little bit of a rest. So now we're going to have to tinker with this a bit, and let's just see if we can put Baldwin at right back. We'll pop Quaynor out of left back. Theo Street is obviously dying. So let's just go down here and take a chance with our man, Zakurzewski. So the kid with not much pace to offer, but nonetheless, we're going to have to take some sort of a chance. We'll then pop Toby Nickel in. They have the cam and swap that over with Walker. So Toby Nickel will start off at centre mid and Walker at cam. And then Jack Edwards can sit on the bench for now. Taylor is dead, so Jack Barr comes in on that end. Jack Lane also is quite fried, but we're gonna have to play him. We don't have many options. Let's get in there and see how this goes. Okay, so St. Ives kick off, and how is this going to go? So ball knocked over the top, and Lane has come out to collect up to Meredith. Now it's the kid Nickel, Oliveira, and onto Walker in space. And somehow he's managed to not put that in the net. Nonetheless, we have an early corner. Whooped in. Again to no one. Barr collects. Bump back up to Meredith, and it's another corner. Okay, Landers here with another early corner, and what can we make of this one? Popped over to the near post, and it's slotted by Jack Lane. We get a goal off a set piece, and it's all coming together. Jack Lane nicely headed at the near post. Brilliantly, we're 1-0 up. So just gets in, and we had 4 players rushing towards the near post. Complete overload, and that's 1-0 up. And not the worst start. Okay, so we've created quite a few early chances here. And it looks like we have another one. Walker with a corner now. Bump back out, and that's fallen to Bar, not to Clark. Dilly-dally on the ball, Baldwin with his wrist. Zakrzewski back to Bar, back to Baldwin, and a little bit of retention of the ball going on here. Back all the way to Smith, who's way out his box. He's knocked that to Bar, and he's played Walker into space, and he's slotted brilliantly in the top corner. Jack Bar with a nice nod down to Walker, and Walker is slotted. These third man runs from midfield continue to give us great joy, and if we have another look at that, Bar just brilliantly dinks that over the top. Side foot, roofed, great goal. So Jack Lane is having a lovely game, but of course he looks like he's dying already if you have a look right here. Okay, corner again, Landers whoops it in, back to the near post but nodded out. Falls back to Bar. Can he recycle off to Meredith? Lane with the ball now. All the way back to Walker. And Baldwin is in space out on the edge. So the centre-back Zakrzewski with the ball there. Not knowing what to do with it. Balls back to Walker. To Nickel. To Lane. Good sustained pressure here. But we've got to play an incisive pass at some point. Come on, Clarkey. Whoops to Baldwin and he finds Landers. And the keeper makes a save. Okay, so there's not much that I need to change for the second half, and let's just get straight in there. See how this goes. So Giles with the ball for the opposition, and they've kept it quite well here in the midfield. Knocking it through us, just looking for a chance. Come on, guys, push up. Where is the press? We've given them far too much space. It's fallen to Walker, and are we on the counter here? Oliveira does well to break free of his man. Oh, nice mazy run. And he's knocked that through to Landers with a lovely ball and a lovely finish. Brilliant stuff. So Oliveira, as I mentioned, he's been handy. He comes up trumps here. Just running through. Look at that. Bending off the man with great strength. He looks so tiny, but somehow finds the strength and plays a brilliant through ball for Landers, who slotted that calmly into the top corner to keep his goal-scoring run going. 3-0 up then, and 3-1 FC looks like 3-0 FC today. Sustained pressure, and we're doing really well. I think I'm going to use this as a chance to give a few players a break after we see what comes off this spell of possession. So Baldwin with it then, off to Clark, to Bar, good quick passing. Walker running down the wing. Can he make something of this? Knocks to Landers, and Landers puts that ever so closely wide. Okay, let's just make some subs. Okay, so we've popped on a few subs, and now already with another corner, Landers with it then. Whooped in and knocked over. So Junior English, Murphy and Quena have come on, giving a few players a bit of a break here. I think we're also just going to slow down the tempo. Of course, we've been playing really well, but we've got to game manage just a little bit to try and, you know, perform in the games coming up with our very limited squad. Okay, Senavs with the free kick. Knocked out, and then Joku will pick that up on the edge of the area. Whoops it back into Hickinson in so much of space. Horrible, horrible marking there. Left him in so much of space, and we're asking for problems. Just shout at everybody for a second and demand a little bit more. We need to see this out. Another clean sheet will be so welcome. Come on, come on, come on. You've got to do a little bit better there. Too much space, and that is going to be a goal. As I say this, we go ahead and 3-1 FC continues, conceding another goal. Of course, Njoku came on, and it looks so much fresher there, just beating Baldwin for pace, knocking across to Edwards and just slotting in with a tap-in. We could have avoided that, and I'm not really happy about it, but here's Landers with a free kick. Knocks to Oliveira, who has thundered that at the goal, but palmed away, and another corner close to the end of the game here. There we have it. Another 3-1 win to boot. Playing some good stuff here. 15 shots in that game. 9 on targets. They're doing quite well. Of course, only converting 3 of those attempts into goals. But nonetheless, we dominated that match quite thoroughly. And we're deserved winners. Okay, and here we are. Redditch United up next at home. And I've decided to make a few changes to keep the match load a little bit lighter on some of the players that I'm going to require in the future. Of course, Zakrzewski comes back into centre-back just to give Lane a little bit of a rest. And then Greg Dunn comes in at right-back to give Meredith a bit of a break. Greg Dunn, if you haven't seen thus far, is a fairly decent prospect, of course. Just 16 years old with a fair bit of pace, but not a lot more going for him. And let's just see if we can turn all of that very negative growth on the upward trend. And then we brought in Callum Stewart into the striker position. Of course, he also has a very good amount of potential, but Landers definitely needs a break. So we've kept Henry Landers on the bench in case we need him, along with LB Shala, who we might be able to bring in if things work out in our favor. Then we've popped in Junior English into the midfield role and left Walker on the bench. And yeah, let's go ahead and see how this works out. Okay, so we start off with our familiar 4-2-3-1 with the DM and central midfielder. And then, of course, we verse Redditch United, who come here with a 4-4-2. Now, I have started a weakened team, not because I'm underestimating them, but they've been in bad form. As you can see, Redditch in 19th. And I think this is the best opportunity for us to rotate just a little bit. Okay, so Theo Street wins that, and Jack Edwards finds space in the middle of the park. He's knocked that through to Taylor, who unfortunately has lost it, but it's back now. And Taylor on the wing. Can he find a man? Again, loses it. Dunn has been doing really well, and he wins that back again. Back to Dunn then. To Queno at left back to Junior English, who slides that back to Zakrzewski, a bit more patient with the build-up then. Ball over the top. Oh, it's come off rather ridiculously off the defender, and Stewart should have done so much better. Nonetheless, Queno has the ball one more time, and he pushes it into the center. It's knocked out wide to Taylor now, and done with the ball again. Back to Clark, to Junior English, and he almost slots a lovely shot down low to the bottom right corner and palmed away. Okay, then we continue to pile on the pressure. Zakrzewski knocks that off. It's lost by Redditch, and to Junior English, who slots again. This time it comes in off the inside of the post. A wonderful finish and a dance to follow. Let's have another look at that brilliant goal. It's come off rather fortunately. Challenged, and then Burton knocks it to English. One touch and slotted from way out. That's about 25 yards out. He's placed that perfectly. Slid out wide to Taylor, and done on the overlap now. Can you find a man from out wide? He pushes it back to Taylor inside. Edwards. And somehow he's managed to let the keeper get a save in there. So another corner then to Theo Street, and it's tapped in at the near post. So the near post corners continue to provide some joy. Whooped in, Theo Street just nods that down fairly straight at the keeper, but it slid in. And 2-0 early sticks here. Just 20 minutes in, and we continue our great form. Great with a throw deep into our half. Out to Maguire, whoops that in. Can we win it back? Come on, better defending. That's very pansy-like. It's gone out wide to Solman, who knocks that to Henry, and they've scored. We concede so many stupid goals in this manner, but nonetheless, it's 2-1 now. He rolls that out to Zakrzewski, who finds Junior English, who's come quite deep. Out to Queno now. Pathetic pass, and he's almost been punished. What on earth is that? A hospital back pass. He slotted in the striker, and it gets so frustrating in not league football sometimes. We are giving away so many chances right now. It is ridiculous. We just need to get a half time, and we do. Okay, ball knocked all the way back then to Smith, who knocks one over the top. Edwards cuts that off, and he's found space. Back to English, and Bar with a finish of note. Slots it into the top corner from the edge of the area, and a fantastic little finish from our little winger. Jack Bar with a finish of note here. Just passed into the top corner, nonchalantly puts us 3-1 up. And 3-1 FC continues on their merry way. 18 shots had now with a XG of 1.85. Okay, it looks like we've arrested control of this game yet again. And as I say that, White has broken free out on the wing, beats the tackler, and he's got a big chance here. Slots to George, and it's 3-2. A lovely bit of play from White out wide there, but we've defended that like a bunch of imbeciles. Stupid tackle attempt there missed, and just cut across with poor marking from Theo Street. So we're going to make a few changes and see how that helps. Okay, so we've brought on Jack Lane for Zach Rzuski and Adam Walker in to play in the DM role. Of course, Zach Rzuski wasn't having the best game, but he is young, and that's okay. Just raise the tempo a bit and drop the passing directness and see how we go. We've created a whole lot of chances, but we haven't taken them, and hopefully we won't be punished for it here. So Smith then knocks one out big to Bar. Edwards sleeping in the midfield there. Out to George. And that is a horrible tackle and should be red. Junior English being daft. He might be on my naughty list yet again after that tackle. A filthy, retarded tackle to put us down to 10 men. Okay, so we're going to have to tinker a bit here now, and we'll drop Edwards into a second DM role. Bar will come back into a wide midfield role, and so too with Taylor. And then we'll go ahead and make Stewart a deep lying forward. Dan Meredith will come on for Dunn just to shore things up at the back and see if we can see this out. Just be more disciplined, play for set pieces, drop the tempo all the way down and stay quite narrow for now. So Walker with a whooped corner here. What can we do? He takes his time greatly. Good ball, and it's found Theo Street now. Back to Walker. He's whooped that back into Burn. Pass slots. Lovely stuff from the young wing, and he's put us 4-2 up against the Cards. We've played the last 10 to 15 minutes with 10 men, and somehow we found another goal, and that should seal this one for us. Just 5 minutes left now, and Jack Bar, big head, and his height has really come into play. And we've done it. 4-2 then against Redditch. We've won this one nicely with a slightly rotated team. Of course, going down to 10 men, but we've made a few changes and it's worked out perfectly. Jack Bar, the kid can play. Okay, then we continue to flourish at the top of the log on 24 points now. And Royston have dropped a few points, so we're building a little bit of a gap on the rest of the pack. Leyston continue to follow with us, and hopefully by the time we return to the league, we can sail away. Okay, and here we have it. Salim Akanbi has agreed to join us, and it is a historic day. Our first signing in the save and as the gaffer of Leamington. Let's go ahead and accept that and have a quick look at what he is all about. So, a lovely little player. Of course, 3-star rated currently, and I've gone for him with a fair amount of pace and good technical stats, and of course, as I mentioned earlier, the height. The height really helps. As we've seen, Jack Barr's done really well cutting in, so those whip crosses from our fullbacks are finding someone, even if Henry Landers is not exactly in a free space. So we're going to see how he goes, and maybe we'll bring him off the bench in the FA Cup match. So this goes out to my good friend Barnett. This is how a good player reacts, and Theo Street here showing us why he's still in the team. And yet again, Tyrone Barnett. Adam Walker agrees this time. You should be raising your standards. Okay, it is FA Cup time now, and we come up against Marchtown United. The back seven stay unchanged, but we've made a few changes behind Henry Landers in that 3. So Akanbi comes in, brand new and fresh for his first start. We bring on Zavzelis and Oliveira just to give Taylor and Bar a bit of a rest. And then, of course, Albishala is back on the bench with a few other kids. And let's see how we go, yeah. The hope would be that Henry Landers slots early, gives us a bit of breathing room, and then we're able to make some wholesale changes. Nonetheless, let's get straight in there and see how this one goes. Okay, so we kick off against Marchtown United now, who come up against us with a 4-2-3-1. Of course, they play in a lower division than we do, so we've made a few changes. Okay, so Jack Lane now with the ball on the halfway line, knocks it out to Oliveira, who finds Walker with a lovely turn. Can he slot? And he does. What a fantastic goal. Adam Walker with some sheer brilliance. A Dennis Bergkamp-esque turn on the swivel, another touch and then slotted. Look at that. Flicked around the corner, turns, touch, bottom corner, slotted. A lovely, lovely goal early on. And boy, oh boy, we continue on this majestic little run. Okay, so early possession for us here. Created a few chances. We could do a whole lot better. So they've knocked it around a bit. There finds itself into the midfield now with Foy coming deep. Back to the centre-back Winks. And back to Foy. Marchtown just keeping the ball here. Looking to find a gap, and they find Shea on the wing in space. Knocks that back. And he slotted with a great finish on the edge of the area. So, are you more man than I am? More man puts that in the bottom corner. Again, conceding goals when we shouldn't have to, but nonetheless, a very good finish from the edge of the area. We've lost quite a bit of possession, so we're going to do what we always do and drop the tempo just a bit. Let's ask them to be a little bit more disciplined and try and keep this a bit more tight for now. We can get close to halftime or to halftime and see this off. We'll be in good stead to come out rolling in the second half. Okay, it is halftime then, and we have not played well. We're just going to remind them that this is important and get back in there with the second half. Not going to make any changes now, but we will if we need to. Theo Street wins that to Walker. Finds Akanbi out wide, who hasn't done a great deal thus far, but here he is now with the ball on the wing. Finding some space. Can he beat his man? He finds Landers, and brilliantly, Henry Landers with another header into the bottom corner. Akanbi with his first contribution, and as I said, he hasn't done much. He's come up with a great cross to find Landers and put that on a platter for him to slot from about 6 yards out. Akanbi loses it cheaply to Mormon and then wins it back. Back out to Meredith, and now Theo Street, who finds Clark. Some good interplay there, and it's back out to Akanbi, who's run through the center and then played an aimless pass out wide. Walker wins the ball back very neatly in the midfield, and can he find a pass, or is he going to go on his own? Walker's gone on a mazy run here. Slotted back to Akanbi, who finds Oliveira, and Oliveira slots home. A lovely goal there. Brilliant from Walker. Then forced out back to Akanbi, and Oliveira comes up with a fantastic finish to make it 3-1 to 3-1 FC. Another lovely finish here. Chested down and then on the half volley just put in the bottom corner. So here we are with Landers in a corner out on the left side now. Whoops that in. It's bumped back out to him, and Landers has space in the box here now. He finds Clark, who cuts it back to Street and Meredith out wide. Whoops it in. Oliveira comes in and just nods that in, and it's 4-1. Brilliant football. We are well and truly home, and maybe it's time to make a few changes now. Okay, then we brought on Zach Rzuski, Nickel, and Shala up front. But then again, we have Zealous with the ball, knocks it out to Akanbi now. Akanbi finds a big ball out to Oliveira in space in the box. Big curler, and that's out wide. And that is it. Another brilliant performance from the lads. And we finished 4-1 away to Marchtown. Of course, we gave them a lot of time early up, and it looked like they might pose a bit of a threat. But nonetheless, we've gone ahead and won that comfortably. Okay, and that is it for this one. And the great run continues. So a 4-1 win against Marchtown to finish. And Salim Akanbi, our brand new signing, comes up with a lovely performance on debut. Nonetheless, we've done great stuff throughout the save thus far, and hopefully this form continues into the future. I'll catch you again for the next one against Royston, then Leiston, then another FA Cup fixture. And of course, we're turning around a little bit quicker now because these fixtures are of great importance at the top of the log. Nevertheless, I hope you've enjoyed the save thus far, and if you haven't already, please don't forget to give us a like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay tuned for absolutely everything that is to come. There's a lot more going on the channel, so if you are willing to, give it a pop and hopefully you'll enjoy that too. Until the next one, lekker, check you. Bye!